Interesting aspect of market research, which is emerging as a very strong area, which is called as experimentation. What do you understand by experimentation? Yeah? What is experimentation? Practical, okay. Has some results. Okay. Right. Experimentation finds something at the end of the result, at the end of the experiment. Example, in chemistry, you had experiments, right? So what is to happen in the experiment? A result, which is to prove this is equal to, if you do this, this happens. That's why experimentation is becoming very common. Okay. Where marketers want to know whether if I do something, something will happen. Right? Clear? So experimentation is a emerging field which is being used more and more because today it is becoming feasible again because of access to technology, etc. Right? So let's look at experimentation per se. It is a scientific method employed in a marketing research. It involves creation of a contrived or artificial situation so that the researcher can manipulate one or more variables. Right? And then you see the impact of those variables which are monitored. Which is the most commonly used experimentation? Any examples? In a very small test market is also experimentation. You see whether a drop in price will lead to increase in sales. And how much? In some other test market, you could drop, let's say, by 10%, in some other market by 5%, and see whether they correlate. So whether a drop in price could lead to increase in sales. If the drop in price does not lead to increase in sales, will you actually apply it? The answer is obviously no. But the drop in price does increase the sales by what you wanted, then you actually can take a decision. That's a classic example of a drop in sale. Experimentation, right? So today experimentation is becoming more and more common. Let's say with flavors, with sizes, with packs, with combinations, okay? So some of the taste, color, etc. soft drinks is tried out, whether this will attract more. Let's say in soft drinks, what has happened in the last 4-5 years in terms of experimentation? Shapes have changed drastically today, right? So many of the soft drink bottles, every 6 months you see some new shape. So they're trying to experiment whether it will work or not, right? Even without us knowing, they're making minor changes in the taste, sugar concentration, let's say the concentrate which gives the taste, etc. They're changing it and see whether it's working, right? What is a natural experiment is where nature itself takes the experiment. So this is not a part of marketing research. So what is done is to really see whether an experiment works or not. You tend to also have controlled experiments where you try to keep all other parameters same and change only few variables, right? If you really want an experiment to be successful, you also need what is known as a control group. What is a control group? A control group is one where there is no change done. The experiment group, you change something and give it. And obviously between the control group and the experiment group, if there is a change, you can say this variable is causing that change, right? So when you choose the variable, you have to be sure whether that variable is independent or dependent. You can control it or it is extraneous, right? So let's look at some formats for variables. So again, these experiments can be done in a lab or actually on the field. In the lab, you have concept test. Any idea what's a concept test? Hmm? What is a concept test? Hmm. So description, right? And then people are asked, would you buy this concept, right? Clear? Then you have actual lab taste, whether this tastes better or that tastes better. Many people are also invited to look at advertising. Then you have simulated test markets. Then you have package tests. Which package looks attractive, more attractive color, size, combination, features, right? In the actual marketing field, you get into store audits. Many times you are asked to use a product free of cost and give a feedback. That's a home use test. You could have test markets, which is also becoming very common. And you have also on-air advertising testing, where people are randomly called after ad, did you watch it? And if yes, what was your reaction? Did you remember it, etc., etc. Now, what are the typical types of experiments? There could be a after only design. So, you don't have a pre and post, you have only after design. So, there would be an average measure that is already there in the market. So, after you introduced, let's say, a price change, if there is a change, you assume it's because of the price change. Before, after, you would actually take readings before the experiment and after the experiment. So, X1 would be before the experiment, X2 will be after, X2 minus X1 will be the difference. Okay, you could also have a before after with a control group. What is the control group? They are not given the experimental dose, whatever, or the variable. Okay, so this will be the change in the readings. So there will be an experiment group, their readings will be X2 minus X1 and control will be Y2 minus Y1. Overall difference will be the result of the experiment. Break the आणि आता मध्ये एक ब्रेक द्यायची काय ना 5 मिनिटं. साडेपर्यंत घेतो. Okay, this is what I mentioned earlier, which is started to coming in India, where customers or families will be asked to give a diary of their usage, right? So typically the experimental designs are of these types, okay? So let's, before I hand over to Chaitanya for the next topic, let me just quickly tell you about a test market. Okay, test marketing is one of the most popular applications of experimentation, right? It is routinely done in cars, okay? It's routinely done for cars, two-wheelers, four-wheelers, even commercial vehicles, right? Now, till recently, Bangalore was one of the most popular test markets, simply because Bangalore met practically all these conditions. Okay, it was large enough to give meaningful projections. Most important, the demographic was fairly well distributed, right? And you had all types of people there consuming all sorts of products because it was a cosmopolitan sort of. That's why it was representative of the behavior of consumers also. Consumption also mirrored, it was not extreme in climate, etc. It was moderate. So throughout the year you could make a favorable thing, and it was also very favorable to the media usage. Pune was the second choice for test markets, right? Today, but cities like Jaipur, Indore are also becoming test markets because Pune, Bangalore are now becoming saturated. People are now aware, that test market, they quickly come to know also, and then the behavior becomes modified, right? So what are the steps? Define the objectives, your approach, procedures, markets. Again, you could have three markets: a standard, controlled, or simulated. So this is a broad strategy, typically used for new product development, research on new exciting products. Okay. And today, no company would dare take a risk before test marketing. They would not launch a major product. Okay. I think we have time in market research for these topics. Market research is what for you 35-hour subject. So we've tried to cover basics. Okay. Now Chaitanya will take over and give you some inputs on product and brand strategy. Hmm?
Okay, so before going into the topic, I just want to quickly show you some market research I've done personally for my thing. Okay, so what the objective was, we are trying to figure out what should be the color of or the background color for our website. Okay, that was the intent with which we are working. And the whole idea behind a website was to create something which is of ease. Okay, so if you look at the, so we're trying to figure out what color people associate with ease. Okay, but if I go and ask people, okay, what color you associate, and if I give them option, then it's likely that there will be a bias. So what we did was, we came across 6 to 7 words. Okay, and something related to ease, something related to opposite set of words, and we give them an option of color. Okay, and we asked around 20 to 25 participants to give them what's their preference of color. Okay, and these are the results. So most of them said that okay, white is the color which they associate with the ease. Okay, that's how we selected white color should be the background. Okay. The other thing what we are trying to find out was we are working with a company for they're trying to develop a product, okay, or service for people who are going back to India. Okay, so those are the Indians who want to come back to India. Okay, so for them we made a detailed questionnaire. It was a primary research intention. and obviously it cannot be with the single person, it has to be with the family. So we created this questionnaire for a bread earner and homemaker. So bread earner could be a male, female, okay, but homemaker primarily for in Indian context is a woman. Okay, so these are the two things which I thought to show you. Now I'll move to the product and brand management. Okay, how many of you can actually figure out difference between a Coke and a Pepsi? No, okay, leave apart packaging. If I give you Coke in one jar and Pepsi in one jar, can you figure out? What is that taste? Can you explain what is the difference between a Coke and Pepsi on some parameters? Okay. I mean, there is a difference of opinion, right? But still you go to shop and ask for Coke. Okay? That's a branding. Okay? They try to keep you associated with the brand. Okay? Similar to mineral water. Okay? Bisleri. I mean, you go and ask to the shop guy, okay, give me Bisleri, and he will give you any other brand, you will accept it. Right? So, that's a branding which we will be talking about. Okay. So, what is I would say, a duty of an typical sales and or I would say marketing guy in a company? It is to create, communicate and deliver to the market at profit. The profit is the most important aspect what every company will look for. Okay, but what is required is to create a product, to communicate its worthiness and to deliver. Okay, so what does create means? A product management. Communicate is a brand and deliver is a customer management. So we will be talking about product management and brand management for this particular session. Okay, what is a product? Can this be a product? Yes? Can this lecture be a product? So anything which can be offered to the customer, it can be a product. Okay, I mean, if you have to define in a way that it's any offering by a company to a market that serves satisfy customer needs and what. So this is a product. It can be object, service, or it can be an idea as well. Okay, so you might ask me why new product development is featuring here, because that's a question of R&D, right? But what is most important is what are the inputs on which the R&D is designing a product. Okay, because designing a product is a technical job, but the feature assessment and what customer want is something marketing will come up and tell you. Okay, so how many of you okay, let me put it this way, how many new products you have seen in last 1 year? New product, can you name? Okay, but okay, I can buy that thing, but is it a new product or something else? New entrant, right? Okay, new product could be Tata Ace. It created a segment in it itself. Okay, new, right? Nano or maybe a Flipkart. There was nobody who was offering that particular product. They came and did. Okay, so I am putting 10%, but even that number is less than 1%. Okay, success rate of new products. I mean, if you, let me be frank with you. I come from automotive background, so my most of the examples will be from auto. Okay, but the success of new product is very, very less. Why? Maybe because the product itself is not worth, it's not rightly priced, it is not rightly targeted. So there are many aspects. Okay, but this is the reality. 5% of the products are actually we say that are successful. Okay, uh, maybe before 90. Okay, before 2000. Okay, let's say 2010. How many years an individual used to use a cell phone? 3 to 5 years typically, and now less than 1 year. The moment you go and buy the phone, come back home, you realize that there is a new model which is launched, right? The life cycles are becoming short. What is the implication is companies need to make sure that within a short span of time they should generate money. Okay, they are quite sure that 2 साल के बाद ये product नहीं बेचने वाला है, right? So the biggest example is iPhone 5, which was released in 2013. Okay, and iPhone 7 is released now. Okay, within 2 years, 2.5 years roughly. That's okay. Within 2.5 years, now they have to release a new product. Okay, company like Apple, who is considered to be best brand worldwide, they are releasing product very shortly. So this is impacting a lot. Okay. So let's look at a typical life cycle from a marketing perspective. I'm not looking from the product development perspective. Okay. So this is the time company invest. Okay. There is no revenue as such. Introduction is more about creating a marketing. Okay. Growth is where you actually start realizing the numbers. Maturity is the tertiary requirement comes in. There is no need to invest heavily in the marketing, and decline. So something new comes up and the preferences change. Okay. So stage 1 is about innovation or investment. The stage 2, the customers which actually comes and buy your product, they are very early adopters. Okay, so they want to try out new concept, they want to understand, okay, what's new in the market, let me invest, let me try to find out how it is. Okay, stage 3 is early majority. Okay, for that matter, product is launched 1 month back, they know, okay, there are no major issues, let me try now. Okay, this is the early majority. Okay, so early majority actually creates an opinion in the market. Okay, so they are creating word of mouth publicity and everything. The next stage is the late majority. It means people who don't want to experiment, they want something which is always proven. Okay, and last is laggards. They are simply, laggards is a wrong terminology, but at this particular stage, let's say stage 5, the product is become a commodity, right? So the cost must have come down. So at that point, people can afford. So how you can relate these terms with a marketing communication which should go, right? Because let's say these 1, 2, 3, 4, these are 2 different segments or different parts of the segment, I would say. Okay, so accordingly the marketing communication has to change, which we will see sometime later. Okay, what are the typical product development stages? If you ask anybody, these are the standard terms which I think we can move ahead. Okay, now this is something we should look at as an MBA student. How do you assess a product whether it is worth going for even a development? Okay, customer might be, okay, this is a very good product, but The moment you say, can you buy, or are you willing to buy this product? No. So this is the most important thing we should look at is, customer may be okay, this is a very good product, but is it worth buying? Something we should look at. So what analysis we should do is, what is the typical cost of the product? Okay. How many are likely to buy? Okay. I mean, this could be a work product. This can be very well developed very easily, but can we sell in thousands? No. Right? So this typical sales volume we have to relate with our company, right? So this particular product you will not see high volume companies are going to produce. These are the typically small companies or mid-sized companies in the revenue range of 5 to 50 crores. This is what they will look at. Okay, pricing. So pricing will have to be related to your company perception, right? What company want to pursue, right? iPhone will not launch anything less than 30,000 or 40,000. That is very clear, right? Still, they will try to look at the segment and understand. Profit levels. Okay, again iPhone. How many of you know that what is the typical cost of manufacturing for iPhone 7? 15,000. And what price point they are selling? So there, I mean, unwritten rule is anything contributory margin, anything less than 70% is not acceptable. Okay. So these are the company norms which company internally sets and then evaluate idea. Okay. And then obviously break even, payback and everything will come in effect. Okay. What are the different value propositions we should look at? Okay. So I am selling this as a product. Okay. So there are characteristics, there is a value associated. Okay. Now if I am adding some feature, can I charge more? Is more for more. Okay. If I adding feature and costing same, more for same. I am charging same but reducing the features, same for less. I am reducing 2 features but I am giving this you at a 50% price, same for less. And more for less. I mean, I am adding feature but I am giving at very low cost. So these are the value proposition in a product a marketing guy will look at. Okay. So obviously out of this 1, 2, not beyond that, because nobody want to give more at lesser price unless competition make you to do that. Less for much less, it is actually creating a second category of product which will go into market. And same for less. I mean, why you want to reduce your cost? I mean, why you reduce margins? Okay, but this is typically happening. Okay, can you relate this particular value proposition with some products? Example, I mean, it is more for less. Right, it is more for less, right? Reason because of competition. Nobody want to do that. It is because they just want to survive in the business, they are doing that. Okay. More for more. AMT. All cars are coming with AMT features, right? So add feature, you pay more. More for the same. No, that's not a value proposition. That is a marketing, I would say, gimmick. There is no standard product which will always give you 20% extra, right? No, that's a marketing thing. I'm only talking about product. Look at the features and then cost. That's a very good example. Same for less. the best example is chipset. Okay, so whenever a new generation chipset comes from Intel or any company, they'll be charging at very premium rate. Okay, the moment volume picks up, they'll reduce. Okay, petroleum companies are not that way because they are more linked to the crude oil prices. Charging? No, taxes is, they don't charge tax. Government charge tax. Okay. Less for much less. Hmm? Very rare. So primarily most companies will look for one, at the max two, not beyond that, unless compelled to do to remain in business. Okay, I think we can skip this market testing. We already discussed a lot. Okay, so these are the four things we should look at when we are taking to the product to the market. What? When we should launch it, right? What is the good time to launch the product? Or is it a time at which market is ready to accept that product, right? Where? Which geographical market, right? What point, which market, to whom? What is my target market? What is my target segment, right? And how? What is my marketing strategy? Okay, these are the main four questions, and a product manager will ask or will be asked. Okay, in terms of product level, what is my basic requirement is a core benefit. Okay, basic product is actually meeting the requirement. Expected is what is expected by a customer. Okay, augmented is you add some feature and then offer it to the customer. And potential product is, okay, this is my basic product, this is what customer want, and this is I can give. And when you try to figure out, okay, what best we can offer is a potential product. Okay, I mean, at best there could be one pain area, okay, which we are trying to resolve, with which a basic product can come. But what customer want is, I want 10 features, and you come across and say that, okay, I can give you 5 features. Then when we try to find out the subset, okay, we say that these are the 4 features what we can offer at this price. So that will be a potential product. I mean, customer delight, you go to recharge voucher and all of a sudden that guy says, okay, 50 rupees mein aapko 100 rupees milega. That's a delight. You are not expecting that to happen and you got it. Or for that matter, you go to railways and you find it very clean. Nowadays it's very clean, but it exceeds your expectation. Okay, product hierarchy, there is a need. Again, there could be a product family. Okay, for let's take an example, cooking. Need is you need something to cook. Product family, it could be a utensil, it could be a pressure cooker, it could be oven. These are the product families. Product class, within a pressure cooker there could be different classes, different varieties. Okay, product line, so Hawkins have a product line of pressure cooker. Okay, product type, so in particular product line there could be a subclass which you can say a product type, and it's a brand. Hawkins is a brand, and item is a product. Again, product, how do you classify? Okay, I mean, fan is a consumer durable. It lasts for a longer duration. Non-durable, you go and buy dal, it's a non-durable. It will be consumed immediately. And services. If you go inside what consumer durable is, convenience good. I mean, you go, you ask for a soap, you get anything, you accept and go out. That's a convenience good. Shopping goods is something you will at least do some level of research. You go for buying a shirt or dress, you go to two, three shop, then you find, okay, this is the what I want, I can afford, I'll buy. This is shopping goods. Specialty goods is very specific, for that matter, a sofa or a dining table, which is, you will spend a lot of energy in finding, okay, how can I customize that particular for my requirement. What, any idea about the unsought good? This side. Unsought good is anything which is like you don't want to buy but you are compelled to buy. Any example?
Simple medicines शौक से खा लेगा जबरदस्ती
Correct. Second is you go to vehicle repair shop and that guy says oil change करना है. First thing you will say is जरूरी है क्या? Right? So that's the unsought good. Okay, in terms of industrial good, it could be raw material, manufactured item. Okay, what is capital good? Capital good, right? Which will last for longer duration. Machinery is a capital good. Supplies and business services, those are standard. Okay, product mix. So, for a company, okay, how many product lines we should have? Okay, I mean we should have 10 product line, 20 product line, or should we focus only on 2, 3 important? So that's a product width. Okay, length. There are 10 lines, but there are only 3 parallels. So that's your product length. Product depth. So in a product line, how many variants you want to sell? You want to sell something is 0.5 ton to 10 ton or like 0.1 ton to 10 ton. So that's a product depth. And consistency. So what is mean by consistency is your company is into 10 product, but how 10 products are related to each other. It's very rare to see a company which is selling a soap, which is selling a same company selling a aircraft. Not possible. So you have to be an interrelated business. Okay, I mean obviously there should be some product line decision we should take. Okay, product rationalization, market rationalization. Okay, how many product we should sell, how many market we should remain in. Okay. Any example of product company which is moved out of India? Said we are not into Indian business in India. I think Deutsche Bank or HSBC Bank decided will not do the retail banking in India. So that's the market rationalization. Okay. For that matter, Tata Motors is trying to do the product rationalization. For a Tiago, they are not selling it for the taxi business. So they are trying to re-segment themselves. They are trying to rationalize their products. Okay. Again, product line, how long that length should be, how short, and line pruning. So we'll have to cut down something to make sure there is space for others. This is typically happening with the Maruti Suzuki. They are not for the Alto Desire, they have to actually cut down production. They are trying to reduce the focus and push focus on Baleno and other vehicles which are going at very fast rate. Okay, now moving to a brand management. So what is right? Xerox is right or photocopy is right? But still you go and say like Xerox de do, right? So Xerox is a brand. It's a company, but the brand has gone beyond a brand is trying to cover entire segment. Okay. For that matter, some year back, you will go to shop and say, "Bhaiya ek Parle de do." You'll not say biscuit. You'll say Parle. Right? That's a brand. Okay. What is a brand? Brand is a set of tangible and intangible benefit they obtain from product and service. That's a brand. Okay. It's a seller promise. If I go and market, I see product and then I can say, okay, if product is coming from X company, it must be good. That's a brand. May or may not be good. That's a different story. Right? So, in a way, what you can say is what customer thinks. What is the reputation of a company in the market? Okay? And what customer mentally thinks about that product. I mean, the moment you see Maruti Suzuki, you immediately say it's a value for money. Okay, that's a mental shorthand which we have developed over years. A customer has developed, not a company. For that matter, and universally Volvo is known for safety, Harley Davidson freedom, and Parle Bisleri, I mean you can very well say. Sony picture quality, Philips innovation. So if you look at the Philips, all ads, they will end with the innovation word. So they are trying to associate themselves with the innovation. So in a way, what you can say is a brand shows what focus company is trying to do. Okay, what is the company's focus area? That's a brand. Okay, so this slide talks about where product ends and brand starts. So these are the attributes and functional benefits which are related to product. Okay, and emotional benefit and relation experiences is the brand. Okay, so what do you think? Product is a product has better longevity or brand? Obviously, and it creates longer duration to create a brand than product. So that is why brand management is a specialized branch in a market management. Okay, so do you know what is the difference between house of brand and branded house? I mean, you look at the two boxes, this one box and another box. Can you tell me what is house of brand and what is branded house?
House of brand are different kinds of brand inside it.
Okay.
And branded house is a single unit with different products.
Okay. Can you name this company? No. Which company have this brand? Hindustan Unilever, right? And this company is a brand. So no matter what they sell, they will sell as a Tata brand. Okay. I mean, the reason they can do is they have developed a brand. So the moment you read a Tata word, you say it's a good brand, it's a loyal brand, right? So that's the reason they can sell vehicle with Tata name, steel with Tata, services with Tata, even tea. Okay. But these guys, reason being they cannot say anything on Hindustan Unilever is, if you look at closely, there are at least 3 to 5 soaps, right? For example, Lifebuoy, Lux, Pierce. These are soap. You cannot say Hindustan Liver one soap, soap number 1, soap number 2 soap. It has to be a brand because this particular soap is targeted at different customer segments. Okay. So this is the house of brand and this is a branded house. Okay, clear? Any doubt? If you have any question, feel free to ask. Okay. Okay, what is a Reliance? Is it a branded house or I'm talking about Reliance Industries? Branded house or house of brand? Okay, how many of say house of brand? Okay, how many for branded house? Okay. They sell anything on Reliance name, right? There could be a product category Reliance Vimal, but Reliance word has to come. Even with Reliance Jio, it's a Reliance Jio, it's not Jio, right? About Samsung, same. ITC, how many of you know about ITC? House of brand, because they have a altogether extreme end businesses. On one side they sell cigarettes, and other side they are a IT company. They are a altogether different company. The reason it has become a branded house is from 2000 onwards. It happened that they were trying to create a different image. So that was the reason they came up with a new brand and they became a branded house. Google, branded house. No matter what they do, it's a Google product. Okay, what's the similarity, or what's the connection between Peter England and Aditya Birla? It's a brand of Aditya Birla, right? So Aditya Birla is again a branded house. Sorry, house of brand. I'm sorry. Reason being, they are into again different businesses. They are into mining, they are into metals, they are into sugar, everything. That's the now, okay, there is no standard rule as such that if you are in 10 businesses, you should be a branded house or house of brand. It is up to the company how they want to create a brand. Okay? But it is always better if you are into 10 businesses, better to have different brands. Okay? It reduces some element of risk. Okay. What is a brand equity? I mean, don't read here. Come on. In reality, it's not true. In India, it's not true. But okay, in a clear-cut layman term, what you can say brand equity is whenever a customer goes to market, he will say, give me product of this particular company. That's a brand equity. I'm sorry? Attachment, right? I mean, if you have some good phone, then you can proudly showcase that this is the phone I use, right? And that's a brand equity. Okay? And most important thing is difference between the perceived value and intrinsic. Perceived value is something which you feel about it, right? It's not something which is actually giving. Again, coming back to iPhone example, they are charging heavily, and 99% of the users are not using beyond surfing, browsing, phone. There are many features which are not at all used, right? But still they feel that, okay, I'm getting best value out of it. Brand power, again, right? I mean, when there is a, we can say power is associated with the brand. Customer will change brand for price reason, not no, right? Customer is satisfied and no reason for change. Customer is satisfied and would take pain to get the brand. Have you read a news during iPhone launch, iPhone 7 launch, a guy flew from Bangkok to Perth or somewhere in Australia. He sat outside of the shop for 18 hours and bought that product. So that's a attachment with the brand, right? Customer values a brand and sees it as a friend, right? Okay, what it gives a competitive advantage. I mean, we are virtually reducing a marketing cost because customer is actually asking you to sell the product, right? Plus trade privilege. I mean, if you go in the market, I mean, if you go to your supplier, say that, okay, this is my brand value. You give me raw material at lesser cost. So that's the leverage. Or you go to the your distributor and say that, hey, tomorrow onwards I'll give you only 8% margin, not 10%. That's the leverage you will get. You can charge very high price. You can easily launch brand extensions. So iPhone was a brand extension. There was a iPad. That's how it extended. And you can take on I mean, you need not to go into price competition at all. Okay. So how do you manage the brand equity? How do you improve the brand equity? So what are the elements? Brand awareness. It should be known to everyone. Perceived quality. So whole segment should say that this is a good product. It's a best quality product. Then brand loyalty. So customer should come to your company again and again for the same product. Brand identity. It should have its own identity. Okay. And association. What time is it? We have time. What are the, I mean, again, same thing with different thing. What are the advantages? Brand parity. Okay. What is mean by parity is you go to market, you ask for something, you will get something and you go away. Okay. This is typically happening with this particular product, but now they are also becoming smart. They are offering you something extra. So mineral water, distilled water, going something beyond, flavored water and everything. So that way they are trying to create a value. So this is extremely detrimental for a company. Okay. The moment they see that, okay, customer goes to market and they are okay with any kind of product, you should immediately look at what is going wrong. Okay. Umbrella brand. Okay. I mean, you must have seen Marriott company, right? So no matter what they do, they will put Marriott brand as such associate. There is no harm in doing it. It's perfectly good strategy. Only thing is, if something happens with the parent brand, it is likely to impact everything, right? So, any example? Nestle. But again, Nestle, they were selling with different names. Nestle, Maggi, noodles, other things. Kingfisher, right? But the other brand was so much, I would say, it has so much equity, and Kingfisher beers and everything, so it hardly harmed, right? Okay. How about naming a brand? It should carry a product benefit. It should feature some level of product quality. It is easy to pronounce. Should be distinctive. Should not have poor meanings or in other language and country. This is most important thing. Okay. So any good example which is very small, extremely good. It's a very long name. Hola. It's a Spanish word. Hola. So they are considered Ola or Oyo rooms. Oyo doesn't have any meaning, but still they came up with a small name which they could attach it. Okay. Let's talk about a brand strategy. So there are different ways in which brand can be extended or something like that. So line extension is existing brand extended to new sizes in existing product category. So you have a you have a brand, there are 3 products, you add 2 more, that's the line extension. Brand extension is you have a product line which is associated with the brand and you are using same brand name for other product. So that's a brand extension. Multi-brand, new brand, you have a product line with some brand, you introduce similar product line or same product line with different brand. Any example of this particular thing? Volkswagen. So, parent Volkswagen has multiple brand. No, Volkswagen, Skoda, which are competing to each other, but they are still in the same business. Honda City, it's a brand, right? So they are coming up with different versions, which we'll talk about it. But Honda City may not be a right, but Volkswagen or General Motors. So they have a Chevy brand, they have a GM brand, Chrysler. So different brands, similar product in same market. Okay. New brand, new product in different product category. Mm, no, Volkswagen is a brand, right? But Volkswagen company holds multiple brands. Skoda is again a Volkswagen group company.
Next, Hindustan Unilever in soaps only they have about 5-6 brands, 20 brands.
Multi-brand.
So you have Lux, you got Hamam, you got Rexona.
Right. Co-brands. So brands bearing two or more well-named co-brands. How many of you may not be using credit cards, but do you know who is working with SBI for credit card? General Electric is working with SBI for credit card. Okay, it's nowhere it is appearing, but there is no access co-brand I could think of. Maruti Suzuki is a co-brand because it was a not right.
See, if you look at some of the washing machine ads currently, what are they showing? They're showing a washing powder as quick for
Washing machine. LG and Ariel. Co-brand.
Yes, sir. So two companies coming to create a more stronger product.
Co-brand. Okay, brand repositioning. Why it is required? There is a brand, but still after some year you feel that we need to reposition. Why? Why we need? I mean, why company feels that there is the point of sustenance has come? Customer preference changes over time, right? So we need to again reposition that brand. Skoda has done very successfully in India. If you go anywhere in Europe, Skoda is like Maruti. It's a very cheap car. But when it comes to India, they are positioned very nicely that it's a mid-segment car, right? Any example of brand repositioning recently? So they have completely changed it, the way in which advertisement happening and
see, which is one of the most successful story about repositioning. Any idea? It's one Indian company
Which were a practically dead company, and today they are one of the strongest brand success stories in the world, which is that. Just 12 to 13 years back, this company was about to be closed.
Yeah.
It was taken over by an Indian company. It had a cult name and has been revived, and today they are overtaking their largest competitor in the world, which is Royal Enfield. Classic example of super brand repositioning, and 3.5 months back, their market sales in terms of revenue as well as numbers has beaten Harvey. Okay, and just about 12-13 years back, it was a British brand.
almost on the verge of closing.
Sick, I mean, about to be closed. It was taken over by Asher Group. Okay, because they were getting out of tractors and they wanted something else. So Vikram Lal actually told that it's one of the best examples of how a brand